What's up, YouTube? I'm gonna make this video real quick, or I don't know if it'll even be quick because this topic, it might actually take a bit. But first things first, I want to start the video out by saying, everybody that is in the Gamers at Large podcast, I apologize about not being able to be on that podcast as much as I would like. The problem with that, and the reason why I'm not able to really get on there is because the time frame in which the podcast is held clashes with my work schedule. I work overnights, people, so 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning, and then it doesn't help when the main person who's hosting the podcast lives in a different time zone, which I believe there's a 2-hour time difference between us. So if you by any chance catch me on that podcast in the future, just know that it's a very, very special circumstance. Either I went to sleep at an awkward time and then woke up and then I wasn't tired, or whatever. But yes, the likelihood of me being on that podcast is very low. Even though I want to be on it, don't get me wrong, I just cannot squeeze the time in at the moment. But now with that out of the way, let's get on to the topic of the video. Now, look at that bass though. But everybody knows, if you've been paying attention to the gaming news, everyone knows that 2014 is do or die for everybody. Alright? Nintendo has actually had a lot of leeway with the Wii U. I mean, they get bashed at every turn. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm aware that basically every day you got Wii U Doom articles. Everyone's like, Nintendo needs to go third party. They need to put their games on smartphones. Put the games on the PS4 and Xbox One for technical prowess. Pretty much anything in the book. Come up with new IPs that they apparently don't make. Even though, I don't know what the Wonderful 101 is if that's not the case, but okay. I guess my definition of a new IP must be different than everyone else's. But yes, all sorts of noise about Nintendo on a consistent basis, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it sort of cooled down after that Smash Bros. Direct, and, for good reason. But, yeah. Everybody's like, yeah, man, Nintendo, man, need to step that game up, bro. If they don't do this, man, I'm done. Yeah, they keep talking about Nintendo. I mean, we've heard this story countless times. I mean, it's just a consistent thing. Nintendo's irrelevant, but yeah, that's all you can talk about. But yes, Nintendo, I'm not necessarily sure how I should feel about this E3. A bigger part of me says that I want them to actually have a on-stage showing, a presence this time around. Have that dramatic effect that they had back in the day. Where you get your hype built up from actually seeing the reveal of most of these games. And I mean, just going on knowledge that we already have, Nintendo's stage presence should be fantastic if they were to actually have an E3 showing this year, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, we're still due to see the new official HD Legend of Zelda for the first time. Because I really want to see this art style, since Zelda's known to basically have a different art style from the majority of his games. And I remember reading an article where they were saying that the art style is going to be somewhere between, of course this is a rumor, somewhere between Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword. So it reminded me of this art of Sheik that I saw a long time ago that basically fit that criteria. So I mean, we'll see what the deal is with that. But yes, the true Legend of Zelda for the Wii U. Whatever these unannounced games that Iwata keeps mentioning are, whether they be, I don't know if they be indie games or third party or actual first party games. I mean, Miyamoto is working on his new IP, so whatever the heck that is, just hope it's not like a Wii music type thing, because they really need to stop with the Wii stuff. I mean, I already having enough trouble trying to differentiate the Wii U from the Wii with the average consumer, so they need to stop with that stuff. And stop putting you in every game. Like that's lame and pretty cheesy at this point. Yes. And then, so, Miyamoto's IP, The Legend of Zelda, they just filed a trademark, Steam, you know, like Shark Team eliminating Alien Menace or something shit like that. I mean, that sounds interesting just by title alone. What is it called? They're expanding their business, you know, they're building new headquarters, hiring, they're going on a hiring spree. I mean, Retro's already confirmed to be working on a new game. If we see it this year, that'd be pretty freaking epic. I mean, they just have a lot of things they could use for their E3 to make it like just phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? I really don't see why they wouldn't take the stage, because they have that much in their catalog right now. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna get, like, if Bayonetta comes out before E3, which I doubt it, because I mean it's like less than 2 months away. And then, not to mention, Mario Kart comes out next month. But yeah, like, they actually give information on these games, like show Bayonetta, you know, give more information on X. Like, don't do that Nintendo Direct. Like, the Nintendo Direct idea is nice, but that's basically for, like, those low periods to me. Like, just to be, it's like, hey, just to remind you guys that we are doing this directly, you know, stuff like that. But, yeah, like, actually take the stage this year, Nintendo. I mean, that can only benefit you. And, like, for all these official, like, tournaments and stuff, that is free marketing for you guys, like fucking EVO. Like, that whole shenanigans with EVO last year where you didn't want Smash Bros. To be streamed. Come on, man. Come on. Come on, man. Come on. Like, all that would do is advertise Smash Bros. For you guys. And if you guys try to turn that junk down, I'm sorry, but that's boy, Iwata. Like, what's the deal? But yeah, Nintendo take the stage at E3. Reveal a bunch of games. I mean, we already know your situation with third party, so I'm only expecting you to just come up there and show a bunch of, like, you know, exclusives, because that's what y'all are good at. I mean, everyone says exclusives are taking, like, they're moving to the wayside, bro. They don't matter anymore. I mean, everybody's gonna be putting all their games on the PS4 and the Xbox One. I mean, the Wii U. Nah, man, the Wii U, bro. Nah, it's not getting enough third-party games. I mean, we already knew this, but yeah, third-party is taking over. Exclusives are no more. Well, Nintendo says otherwise, because that's pretty much all they got is exclusives, and that's essentially why people buy their consoles still to this day. I mean, 3DS exclusives, Wii U exclusives. But yeah, moving on. As you guys know, how I feel about the PS4 as of right now. I'm not saying the console's bad, and I already said, you know, after Sony's E3 press conference last year, that it is on my radar, but simply because they finally revealed Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 15. I will play that, even though my hype for that has, you know what I'm saying? Because we've known about that game for almost a decade, people. Like, that, I can no longer keep up my hype level for a game consistent if I know about it for 8 years, bro. Like, that's unacceptable right there. I will still play that just because I play Final Fantasy games. I mean, I haven't played Final Fantasy 13-2 or Lightning Returns. That's just because I thought 13 was decent at best and didn't really justify a sequel, but you know, that's just how Square Enix is. They'll just start making sequels for no reason. But yeah, this is Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy 13. The current exclusives that the PlayStation 4 has right now, I don't really take much interest in. I mean, I haven't been big on Infamous. Like, sandbox games, they're okay, but I mean, Grand Theft Auto was not all it's hyped up to be for me. You know, you can say, yeah, dude, but you played like like Lego City, bro. And, it's Legos, man. When have you ever heard of a Lego game not being fun? Like, never gotten a Killzone because to me Killzone was just trying to be a Halo, and you guys know how I feel about Halo, so I can't play Killzone. Like, and not to mention, I have played Killzone. Don't get me wrong, and it just wasn't my type of game. Like, it felt like overly clunky. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I'm not knocking Killzone, but Killzone's not for me. I tried Knack out, and that wasn't that deal, you know. So we're moving on from that. And I mean, Resogun was good. I like Resogun because it reminded me of Geometry Wars on the 360. And Geometry Wars was fun. I like those score tag games. Don't get me wrong. Let's see what else. I mean, Drive Club got pushed back. The Order. Damn, what the hell is going on here? Anyway, The Order. That's just kind of up in the air. One game that did catch my attention though for the PlayStation 4 was indeed an indie game, the Transistor. I did like the way that looked. That looks relatively interesting, so I might have to keep my eye out for that. I don't know when that comes out, but yes, that actually did look interesting to me. Let's see. Sony, I really just want Sony to kind of go back to form with, you know, when they were on the PlayStation and PlayStation 2 days. Of course, even then they were still heavy third-party support with very they had notable exclusives, but they weren't Sony-made exclusives. Like Crash Bandicoot, legit as hell. I'm sorry. Like the only game, like everybody would tell you, the only game that could potentially be better, if at all, than Mario Kart in any way would be Crash Team Racing, because that shit was pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie. But yes, Crash Team Racing, like Crash Bandicoot was that deal. I actually did play Spyro the Dragon, you know, before you turned into Skylanders and all that shit. Like the Sony back in the day was just like good. I still to this day want a sequel to Legend of Dragoon. You've heard me say that plenty of times in my videos. Like get more RPGs. Like stop with the catering to the Western audience. I mean, it saddens me to go to websites and then like the Sony news. All it is just how this game's in 1080p, or how beautiful this girl's eyelashes are, or some bullshit like that. That it doesn't matter, dude. Like, but what's so stupid about it is that that's the stuff that has like hundreds of comments for no reason. It's like, it's like, dude, what about the actual game, dude? Like, I don't care how good the game looks, because that's not gonna do anything for me in the end if the game itself sucks. You know what I mean? And then now let's go ahead and go to Microsoft. I mean, oh yeah, Sony needs to stop lying about shit, because ever since the PS4 came out, there's been plenty of shit that's been coming up about. Pretty much what they said was the opposite of what's going on. All right. Microsoft, the Xbox One, the most expensive console on the market, is still getting tons of flack. Like this is what cracks me up about everybody, is they'll bash the Xbox One for doing 720p on the majority of his games. Has very few exclusives because, you know, it's Microsoft and they gotta, you know, buy their exclusives timed exclusives and stuff like that. But the ironic part to me about that is it's funny how the Xbox One has more retail exclusives on the market than the PlayStation 4. You know, that's kind of weird. You know, a company that's constantly getting bashed for having no exclusives has more exclusives in the company than the other company that the fanboys are like supporting like heavily. And that's another thing. I've never seen a console like the PS4 sell so much, like, in my opinion, very little to offer. You know, a lot of people, it seems like a lot of people are getting like very, very, very desperate to be playing some games or do whatever they can on that console. Like, because half the shit I see posted about the PlayStation 4, it's not even gaming related. It's people like live streaming their regular everyday life, like niggas watching TV, or like people playing beer pong or some shit like that. It's like why? But it is what it is. I mean, I'm gonna let them do what they do on the PlayStation 4, on the PlayStation side. You know what I'm saying? And then like Xbox, give me a better Halo trailer, because for Halo, all 343 needs to do, this is the easiest fix in the world. You tell everybody in that studio to play Halo 2 and play Halo 3 and put those games together. Fuck Reach and fuck Part of 4, alright? Because I don't like that sprinting is in the game. I don't like how they put instant respawn in the game. I don't like how there's no weapons on map. There is no map power-ups. The Forerunner weapons are broke as shit. Like, just that game is a mess, man. I don't know if they updated that shit, and I don't care that they put the classic style playlist in there, because it still doesn't feel like the same Halo. Like, just, it needs to go back to the way it was. Like, no sprinting, because the speed in Halo is perfectly fine. I mean, you can even change, you can make yourself move slightly faster according to the MLG rules, which that was perfectly fine. You can, all the damage output of the weapons, whatever, just go back to the Halo 2 and Halo 3 formula. Like, put those two together. That would be the best game. Halo game. And I'm pretty sure most of the hardcore audience will come back, because like after like a month or a couple months of Halo 4 being out, like nobody played that shit. Like there's more people on Halo 3 than Halo 4, so that should tell you something. Microsoft needs to at least Microsoft comes out and tells you what they're trying to do, but I guess people just aren't having it. But Microsoft, I guess, just do what you did again last E3. Just show games. Like plenty of other people in the community have said, don't rely on pre-renders, like target renders. Just show actual gameplay. I think that's the problem that's plaguing everybody, is because when they reveal a game, they don't actually reveal it with gameplay. They'll sit there and show you CG trailers and shit. And it's just like the only company that will show you gameplay is Nintendo. You know. But yeah, like we just need to focus on the games. Like everything else is retarded. Like I don't care if the game is in 1080p. A game can look really good, and it can be in full, like standard depth, bro. Like we play games in standard depth for so long, and now all of a sudden HD comes around and everybody's like, yeah, dude, 720p is unacceptable. Yet like every game last gen was upscaled to 720p, so it wasn't even native HD. But that's pretty much it for this video. I'll catch y'all niggas later. Peace.